So, securing general contacts in the home?
I think it's really looking and seeing what you have of value. And when I say value to people, they automatically say, oh, I haven't got anything that's really expensive. But it's not about that. We've all got things in our homes that are really important to us. Probably sentimental value, things that have been passed on, things that you wouldn't want to see damaged or stolen by anything, by a burglar, by a fire, by a flood, or anything like that. So it's really important to make sure that we can secure the valuables as much as possible. If it's things that we normally use every day, so that might be our tablets, our phones, our laptops, that kind of thing, then it's really important to make sure that we keep them out of sight from windows or doors, that we hide charger leads and things like that will identify that we've just shoved it under the sofa. So making sure that they're just not visible from any window or door. Put them away.
Yeah.
Try not to leave them out charging if they're going to be visible. Also make sure that any IT is maybe registered with someone like immobilise.com, just so that those serial numbers are registered somewhere, because we're all very, slack at not doing that. And then if those goods turn up, at least they do stand a chance of getting back to you.
Yeah.
And they're not being auctioned off to somebody else in another part of the country usually. Things like jewellery, obviously, if you've got anything of high value, watches, that kind of thing, and there are things that you would normally declare on your insurance, then you really should be looking at a small safe of some kind. And obviously you need to get additional advice on that as to what's the most appropriate, and your insurers usually can help with that. The other thing to think about is property marking. In years gone by, we used to say to people, put your postcode on your valuables, write your postcode on a nice UV pen and nobody will see you've written it on there. And it's all there on the back of the telly or the microwave or whatever it is. But you can't do that with a diamond ring on the back of a watch. So there are now modern 21st century equivalents. We have forensic property marking kits, which is the equivalent of the old-fashioned UV pen, but it comes in a much more portable version, if you like, that we're able to use. It's a synthetic DNA that you're able to then mark up your property. It's registered to you at your address, and then again, if that property turns up somewhere else, you would at least be able to identify it as yours and prove it was yours. But the really most important thing for any valuables is keep a photo inventory.
Right.
Because if you try and explain what your mother's engagement ring looked like when it's been stolen, I guarantee unless you've got a photo, you haven't got a chance of actually describing that piece of property.
We're all carrying smartphones. That is the most simple
It is so
thing
simple,
to do now, isn't
so
it?
easy. And also to maybe put something like a 10p or 50p piece at the side of an item, just so you can gauge the size of that particular item, so the size of the stone or the length of the chain or whatever it might be, just so you've got an idea. Just put something in the picture, or even just a small ruler, just so you can see how big it might be. And also make a note of any identifying marks, or if there's a scratch or a chip on that particular item, so that at least the photo inventory is the start. The fancy stuff can come later, but keep a photo inventory of all your valuables.
Brilliant, great tip.